Namaskar, Jai Shri Krishna, illustrating text 58, text 59 and text 60 of chapter 13, Dhritarashtra quits home of first canto creation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 58. Dahaya mane agni bhiradehe patyuha patni sahotaje bahiha sthita patim sadhvi tamagni manu vekshati. While outside observing her husband, who will burn in the fire of mystic power, along with his thatched cottage, his chaste wife will enter the fire with rapt attention. Gandhari was an ideal chaste lady, a life companion of her husband, and therefore when she saw her husband burning in the fire of mystic yoga, along with his cottage of leaves, she despaired. She left home after losing her 100 sons, and in the forest she saw that her most beloved husband was also burning. Now she actually felt alone, and therefore she entered the fire of her husband and followed her husband to death. This entering of a chaste lady into the fire of her dead husband is called the sati rite, and the action is considered to be most perfect for a woman. In a later age, this sati rite became an obnoxious criminal affair because the ceremony was forced upon even an unwilling woman. In this fallen age, it is not possible for any lady to follow the sati rite as chastely as it was done by Gandhari and others in past ages. A chaste wife like Gandhari would feel the separation of her husband to be more burning than actual fire. Such a lady can observe the sati rite voluntarily, and there is no criminal force by anyone. When the rite became a formality only and force was applied upon a lady to follow the principle, actually it became criminal, and therefore the ceremony was to be stopped by state law. This prophecy of Narad Muni to Maharaj Yudhishthir forbade him to go to his widowed aunt. Text 59. Vidurastu tadashacharyam nishamya kurunandana harsha shoka yutasta smad ganta tirtha nishe vakaha. Vidur, being affected with delight and grief, will then leave that place of sacred pilgrimage. Vidur was astonished to see the marvelous departure of his brother Dhritarashtra as a liberated yogi, for in his past life he was very much attached to materialism. Of course, it was only due to Vidur that his brother attained the desired goal of life. Vidur was therefore glad to learn about it, but he was sorry that he could not make his brother turn into a pure devotee. This was not done by Vidur because of Dhritarashtra's being inimical to the Pandavas, who were all devotees of the Lord. An offense at the feet of a Vaishnava is more dangerous than an offense at the lotus feet of the Lord. Vidur was certainly very liberal to bestow mercy upon his brother Dhritarashtra, whose past life was very materialistic. But ultimately, the result of such mercy completely depended on the will of the Supreme Lord in the present life. Therefore, Dhritarashtra attained liberation only, and after many such liberated states of life, one can attain to the stage of devotional service. Vidur was certainly very mortified by the death of his brother and sister-in-law, and the only remedy to mitigate such lamentation was to go out to pilgrimage. Thus, Maharaj Yudhishthir had no chance to call back Vidur, his surviving uncle. Text 60. Ityuktva tharu hata swargam naradaha saha tum guruha yudhishthiro vachastasya rudi krutva jahacha chuchaha. Having spoken thus, the great sage Narad, along with his veena, ascended into outer space. Yudhishthir kept his instruction in his heart and so was able to get rid of all lamentations. Shri Naradji is an eternal spaceman. Having been endowed with a spiritual body by the grace of the Lord, he can travel in the outer spaces of both the material and spiritual worlds without restriction and can approach any planet in unlimited space within no time. We have already discussed his previous life as the son of a maid servant. Because of his association with pure devotees, he was elevated to the position of an eternal spaceman and thus had freedom of movement. One should therefore try to follow in the footsteps of Narad Muni and not make a futile effort to reach other planets by mechanical means. Maharaj Yudhishthir was a pious king, and therefore he could see Narad Muni occasionally. Anyone who desires to see Narad Muni must first be pious and follow in the footsteps of Narad Muni. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Dhritarashtra quits home. Hare Krishna.